Shem Yahushai by Hashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and salutations unto the elect men feeding the sheep of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, sincerity and in truth for this great gospel, man, that's coming out of our Bible. We're going to analyze this picture we're dealing with, man. It says the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And we already know that you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans here in Babylon the Great, you ain't got no rights. Only right you got is the right to remain silent. The right to remain silent, man. And more and more people are realizing that freedom is a myth. That's what we're gonna say. Freedom is a myth in this society. Because really you're not free to do nothing in nowhere. If you gotta ask permission to travel, you gotta ask permission to do this, permission to do that. You gotta get different paperwork to do different things. So we already know you're not free. You're under a system where you gotta depend on another person. And who's that other person? Whoever's in charge of your country, no matter what country we're in. We're right here, we're in Babylon the Great. And we already know Jake's human rights have been violated multiple times over and over again ever since they've been brought here as slaves. And we know that what's his name? Abraham Lincoln didn't free no slaves. All they did was transfer the slave from the regular citizen to what? The state, the government. He became state property. And Esau, it says, I'm gonna read it again, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted by the General Assembly of the United Nations in 1948. 1948. It's right around the time that Israel got established, if I'm not mistaken. And we know that these are Edomites who put this system together to really control the earth. Because here they are, they've been violating all the human rights. Everything that they done put together, they done violated all those different laws that they put. All those different decrees that they passed. They done broke every treaty they had with the Native Americans. So this man is not somebody to be trusted talking about human rights. Why is the reason people need to be talking about rights? Because you got a devil who's in control of the earth. And his thing has been to what? Go into countries and rape countries and cause conflict in these countries. And set up warlords and set up militias. And what? You seen the movie, what is that? Lord of War with Nicolas Cage? They got Esau going all around the earth, selling weapons. Let's read some more of this. It says, we are all born free and equal. Yeah, right. Everyone is entitled to these rights, no matter your race, religion, or nationality. Everyone has the right to life, freedom, and safety. Yeah, right. Because we see what's happening to the the Hispanics trying to cross the border. We see what's happening to the Haitians trying to cross the border. They're not getting, here's one of the human rights. It says, let's read some of these rights and I'm going to break it down. It says, no one has the right to hold you in slavery. Aren't they holding those kids in slavery and in camps? Right? They done separated them from their family members. They holding their parents in camps, kids in camps, and that's a fucking, that's a jail. That's slavery. They probably got them somewhere working. They got motherfuckers in captive. No one has the right to torture you. Come on, we already know that's why they had set up that torture center over there in Cuba, wherever they had it at. Where they had like torture center when they was fighting against those Middle Eastern terrorists, so-called Middle Eastern terrorists. That's where they were doing their waterboarding. It says you have the right to recognition. You have the right to recognition everywhere as a person before the law, whatever the hell that means. You have the right to seek legal help if your rights are violated. Ain't that what these people fleeing from these other countries, their rights are being violated? So they come here to Esau looking for help, and guess what? Their asses get put in a damn prison. It says no one has the right to wrongfully imprison you or force you to leave your country. How many times Jake's been wrongfully imprisoned for crimes they ain't do. And they still getting what? Released. And they're trying to pay them out. And who's that money coming out of? The taxpayers' pockets. It ain't coming out these crooked cops' pockets. It ain't coming out these crooked lawyers' pockets. It says you have the right to fair and public trial. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. And that's a lie. That's why they hold you as a prisoner. You're really guilty until you're proven innocent in this society. You have the right to privacy. No one can interfere. Yeah, right. That's why they watching everything you do. They watching everything you do. We ain't gonna go through all these laws. We just showing you that these devils, they'll set up decrees, they'll set up laws, and man, they not following none of them. It's not a man you could trust. Yeah, we know ain't no human rights, man. It's all about whoever the Lord put in charge and whatever that leader says. That's the law of the land, really. That's the law of the land, really. They trying to talk about a universal for everybody. And tell me what one country is following this bullshit. Not one country. Every country has their own agenda, has their own rules, have their own regulations, have their own ways to deal with it, penalizing you, beating you, putting you in imprisonment, chopping off a limb. In different countries, those things are looked at as human rights violation. Oh, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. No, you can't do that. See, man, but we understand what's going on. This is the Lord's show. The Lord is really in control, man. He got these nations on pure, a spirit of Esau, Edom. Well, they're robbing their people. They're slaughtering their people. Look at the Philippines. The president of the Philippines, he's like a motherfucking madman over there. You could go anywhere, Sudan. You go to Iraq. Places like Saudi Arabia, man. Them people ain't playing over there. I'm reading the book of Romans 13:1. It says, "Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. For there is no power but the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High," man. The Lord set up these different rulers on the earth. And these are not righteous men. And these are not men looking to help the people. They're here to rob the poor. They're here to oppress. They're here to continue their legacy in riches and wealth and in power. They're not here to feed the poor. They're not here to when they say open more schools so you can come and get more indoctrinated by their bullshit. That's what it is. That's what it is. They ain't finna open up a free market for you to eat. No, they ain't gonna do that. I'm reading, it says, "Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. For there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power resisteth the ordinance of the Most High. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation." And it's a lot of these people, they trying to go against this, the rulers of their society that the Lord set up, and what's happening to them. They getting executed. They getting dealt with. They're getting dealt with through their system that is set up in whatever country you're in. You already know you're supposed to be listening to your ruler, but when do you stop listening to the ruler? When there are rules and violates the laws of the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. If they're telling you to be a brokeback mountaineer in that country, yeah, of course you're against that shit. You man, the best thing to do would be to flee, to get away from a place like this. I'm reading, it says, "For the rulers are not a terror to good works, but to evil." Because you got to realize these people, man, that the Lord set up in power in these different countries, who they are really fucking up. Who are they oppressing? Who are they killing? Who are they destroying the most? I'm reading, it says, "For the rulers are not a terror to good works." It says, when you please the Lord, even your enemies are at peace with you. So the main thing is pleasing the Lord to keep these wicked rulers off your back. And that's from your cops, your authority, your police, your politicians. It says, "Whosoever therefore resisteth the power resisteth the ordinance of the Most High, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation." Yeah, if there's a law in the land, it tells you you can't steal, and you go steal it, and you get dealt with, you can't be mad at the Most High. The Lord set this devil up, and he got his rules that you got to abide by. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Will then thou not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. Yeah. We didn't come here to do evil works. We came here to prophesy. We came here to push this word. We came here to push this word, and we're talking to the poor. That's what most of our people are in a poor state. Most of our people are in an oppressed state condition. I'm reading Proverbs 31:8. It says, "Open thy mouth for the dumb and the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction." I'll read that again. "Open thy mouth for the dumb and the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy." Plead the cause of the poor and needy. See, what we're waiting for is the Lord to set up a ruler over this place that's going to be beneficial for this society. Because these people, human rights is a madness. It's a madness. There's no such thing as human rights. And you got to realize for the next 1,000 years, it's not going to be no human rights either. It's not going to be no human rights. It's going to be Israelite rulership. The kingdom of heaven is going to be a beautiful kingdom for the Israelite, but a kingdom of terror for the heathens. For the heathens. I'm going to read the book of Luke, chapter 4:18. It says, "The Spirit of Yahweh, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he have anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He have sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and the recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai," man. That's what it's all about. You Israelites, you ain't going to get no rights until the kingdom get established. The kingdom get established. Until then, you are going to be the poor, the brokenhearted. You're going to be the one that needs to be delivered. You're the captive. You're the one that's blind. You need sight. You're the one being bruised. You're the one being oppressed. You're the one being punished right now. So we're here to preach the acceptable year of the Lord, man, with the return of Yahushua to deliver his brethren, his brethren from the hands of the enemies. The hands of the enemies. I'm going to read this, Proverbs 22:16. "He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches." And these people who talking about human rights, who set up this whole human rights, man, none but fucking criminals. None but criminals, so-called elites who robbed and stole to get to where they're at, and now they're trying to push no human rights violation. Why? Because they don't want to be violated. They don't want to be, they want to travel without no problem. They don't finish rob, kill, steal, and destroy. So now they set up a system where they could move with no problem. Because before that, when Esau was setting up his system, boy, you can move like the way you move. You can move just easily, freely. You got pirates. You got slave captures. You got all type of different things Esau set up to make sure that right now, look, what he got his military on the seas, on the oceans. He got his military in the air. You can't just do what you want to do, man. Talking about freedom to travel, freedom to do this, no, you got to get permission. You got to get permission. That's a form of oppression. That's a form of oppression when you got to go to the man for one of all things. I'm going to read it. It says, "He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want," man. Yeah, we're not with these wicked rulers of this society, man. Because now they trying to set up an order that's out of order with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. That NWO with the MOTB. With the MOTB, and the Lord is against the MOTB. So what are we supposed to be with the rulers of this society? No, we're with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And we're going to say no to the MOTB.